Hello and welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 24th December 2025. So let's get started with our discussion. Before getting started, let us see the important topics of the day. In international edition, I saw there is one image regarding this Veer Baal Diwas, and there's a very high chance of getting a question regarding that Veer Baal Diwas in your prelims. So we are going to see that topic, and that topic is important from your history point of view from GS paper 1. Our next topic is India finalizing first anti-terror policy. As you all know that in our country we have many anti-terror related laws. But even though terror attacks are happening in India, recently we know that car blast happened before this Red Fort, right? So here you have to see about this anti-terror policy, why we are making that policy, and what are the important components which are there in that policy. And this topic is important from your internal security, which comes from your GS paper 3. Our next topic is India pledges $450 million to aid Sri Lanka's recovery. Already you know that Sri Lanka had been hit badly because of one cyclone. The name of that cyclone is Cyclone Ditwa. And you know already India launched one operation called as Operation Saga Bandhu, right? So here we are going to even provide certain amount of money for this Sri Lanka to recover. So this article is important from GS paper 2 under international issue. Our next topic is misinformation and digital fraud must be tackled, says President. So our President gave one statement. That statement is about we have to tackle this misinformation as well as digital fraud in India. And this topic is important from Garners from GS paper 2. And next topic is about a good template and as well as end the exploitation. So most of the articles in our today's editorials, they mainly cover about the topics that we had done in our earlier classes. First one, it is about VBG Ramji bill. Already we discussed about that bill, what are the provisions, and recently we discussed that President gave assent, and after that, that bill became an act. So the same thing which is there. And next one here is about child trafficking in India. Recently we discussed child trafficking and what are the acts related to this child trafficking, what are the reasons behind this child trafficking, the same thing which is given in our today's newspaper. So we are going to see the editorials as well, but we are not going to see in detail, but only I'll be giving you the brief idea because already we discussed those articles in our earlier classes. And at last we are going to see prelims practice questions as well, guys. Okay, see this image. So this image which I found in this international edition of Hindu in the front page, and this image talks about Nagar Kirtan. So this kind of events which mainly done by this Sikh people as part of this Veer Baal Diwas, and this image that you can see here, it is about Nagar Kirtan. So here you have to see about what is Nagar Kirtan, and next you have to see about what is this Veer Baal Diwas, and there's a very high chance of getting question regarding this, guys. Okay, now let us see some facts. Nagar Kirtan is a significant religious procession in Sikhism. You may get this kind of question. Nagar Kirtan is seen recently in news. Which of the following religion follows it? They'll give you Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Sikhism, like that. Whatever the options they want to give, they'll give. But this Nagar Kirtan is related to which religion? Sikhism. That is one important point that you have to remember. And this Nagar Kirtan primarily organized to celebrate Guru Purabs. Guru Purabs is nothing but the birth anniversaries of our Sikh Gurus and other important historical events. And they will do in this Nagar. Nagar means towns or cities, and Kirtan is nothing but just they will sing this holy hymns or related to this Sikhism. And where they will get from where they will get this hymns? They will get this hymns from this Guru Granth Sahib, which is a holy book of Sikhs. And if you see about certain facts regarding this Guru Nanak, he was the founder and first Guru of Sikhism. And where he was born? He was born in 1469 in a village, and this village is located in the present day Pakistan, not in India. And Sikhs around the world, they celebrate this auspicious occasion of Guru Nanak Dev's birthday on this Puran March, that is full moon day in lunar month of that is around October to November. That will falls different date every year. Every year they will celebrate this birthday or anniversary of this Guru Nanak on different days based on this lunar calendar. So these are some important facts that you have to remember regarding this Guru Nanak Dev. And if you see about this Veer Baal Diwas, it is celebrated annually on December 26th. Since 2022, you have to remember that date. Since 2022 onwards, every year on December 26th, the Sikh people will celebrate this Veer Baal Diwas. So what is the meaning of this Veer? Veer, which mainly shows about bravery, something about the bravery. And Baal is nothing but, it is about something related to this childhood children, right? So here you have to know the meaning of this Veer Baal Diwas. Actually, this day, why the Sikh people celebrate is to honor the martyrdom of Baba Fateh Singh and Joravar Singh. Okay, so they are the children of Guru Gobind Singh, guys. Okay, Guru Gobind Singh, along with his family and disciples, they were compelled to flee as a Mughal army encircled Anandapur fort. So, what happened in the history? If you read your history, so here what happened? The Mughal army will be encircling this Anandapur fort, where this Guru Gobind Singh, along with his family and as well as disciple, will be staying. So, what happened at that time? Guru Gobind Singh youngest sons, that is Joravar Singh and as well as Fateh Singh, they were captured by the Mughal forces. And after once these Mughal forces were captured, these two young boys were courageously refused to abandon their fate. So after once they captured Mughal, they said that change your religion like that. But they were very courageous and they stood on their religion. And at that time, remember this name, Wazir Khan. Wazir Khan ordered them to be bricked alive on this day, that is December 26, 1705. So because of this, every year on this December 26th, they will celebrate this which Veer Baal Diwas. Okay, you have to remember this. Sometimes UPSC can ask a question which changed his name with Aurangzeb. At that time, who was the Mughal ruler? Aurangzeb. But Aurangzeb will not give this order, but Wazir Khan, he will give this order to build a brick wall around them. Okay, so this event exemplifies the bravery and loyalty to their religion. So because of this, our government of India in 2022 declared to mark this December 26th as Veer Baal Diwas annually to honor and remember their sacrifice. So because of this, what you have to see? You have to remember the sons' names and you have to remember this Wazir Khan who ordered. And next one here is Government of India declared in 2022. So these are the important points on which UPSC can ask a question and you have to remember them. So this is about this topic. And now let us see the next topic. See the title. India finalizing first anti-terror policy. Very, very important. And where you will be seeing about this terrorism topic in your syllabus, in GS paper 3 under internal security, you will be having this topic of terrorism. And you know, can anyone tell me the recent terror attacks in our country? In 2025, Pahalgam terror attack, and after that recently Delhi bomb blast. And if you go back, we have Hyderabad blast in especially in this Gokul Chat and as well as in Dilshuk Nagar area. And you know about this Mumbai terror attacks, right? So these are some very famous terror attacks happen in India. And after this also, we are fighting a lot against terrorism, and India is forming lots of groups, and wherever our Indian delegates go, they will showcase about zero tolerance for this terrorism policy in India. And even we are strengthening our borders and we are strengthening our equipments, infrastructure, everything. Despite of all these things, still terror attacks are happening in India. So because of this, now government thought that we need to come up with a terror policy. So that is this first anti-terror policy. Till now we have only laws. For example, I think you have heard about this Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. You have heard about this TODA Act, right? Like that, we have only acts. But now for the first time in India, we are going to come up with this first anti-terror policy. It is very, very important. Okay. Now let us see the context. Our union government is finalizing India's first anti-terror policy to provide a template for all states to combat and respond to terror attacks and related incidents. So now this terror policy will be circulated to all the states, and all states and UTs, they need to follow this so that we can control this terror attacks in India. And related to terrorism, if there are any incidents are going on, we can stop that as well. And we'll be having a unified protocol for all the states now to control this terrorism in different states. Okay, if you see the details, you are saying that the policy name here is National Counter-Terrorism Policy and Strategy. Please make a note. India's first anti-terror policy. National Counter-Terrorism Policy and Strategy. National Counter-Terrorism Policy and Strategy. Okay, who is developing this? Home Ministry is developing along with the inputs of NIA, National Investigation Agency. National Investigation Agency along with our Home Ministry, they are developing this policy. Okay. So here we already had certain frameworks in our country. What are the frameworks? We have National Policy and Action Plan for Left-Wing Extremism, and this is focusing on the proper coordinated manner between the states. In the same way, in this lines of this National Policy and Action Plan for Left-Wing Extremism, we are going to come up with this National Counter-Terrorism Policy and Strategy. And here you have to remember it is made by this Home Ministry and as well as National Investigation Agency. And where this policy is focusing on, this policy is focusing on critical areas. Please make a note. First one is digital radicalization. Digital radicalization. So what is the meaning of digital radicalization? Nowadays there is increased use of internet, and even there is increased use of smartphones, and there is increased digital literacy in our country. So because of this, even the school children, they are maintaining their own social media accounts like WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever it may be. So what now is happening is this terrorist organizations and the terrorists, they are using the social media platform to recruit these people. So because of this, now digital radicalization is happening. Digital tools are used for attracting the people and to fight against their country. So this kind of thing is called as digital radicalization. To counter this digital radicalization and misuse of open borders, especially India is sharing border with different countries, and with those countries we are having porous borders and as well as open borders, which will be helpful for free movement of the people from the both the sides. For example, with Myanmar we have free movement regime. So what is happening here, if you're having these open borders or porous borders, obviously they will be misused by these terror organizations. The movement of the terrorist can happen, and even the movement of arms can happen, and even bombs, whatever it may be. So that kind of incidents are happening across the porous borders of India. So we want to counter that. And next one is foreign funded conversion networks. For example, NGOs, non-governmental organizations, are operating in India, right? But what they are doing, they are taking the funds from the foreign countries, and sometimes these foreign funds will also be getting misused in our country. So they want to control that foreign fund misuse as well. And as well as Aadhaar spoofing. It is very easy to change your Aadhaar card, right? You whatever the details that you want to update, you can update. So here Aadhaar spoofing is also happening. Because of that, terrorists and other people who are working for this terror organizations or terror outfits, they are going for this changing of details in their Aadhaar cards. So we want to control that. And even arms and drug trafficking with terror linkages, and even cross-border exchanges, we are going to control under this policy, guys. Very, very important. So in which ways this terrorism is a threat to India, we are going to make sure that the security is tight in all these regions through this policy. And what are the key aspects? The first one is digital radicalization. We need to counter this online radicalization. Especially car bomb suicide attack happened near this Red Fort because of this digital radicalization only. Because they recruited people who involved in that so and so bomb blast through this social media only. So we have to control that first. And next one here is especially with Nepal and as well as Myanmar, we have to control this open border misuse. Especially Khalistani terrorists are entering into India through this Nepal border. And we have to control this UP, Bihar, Nepal routes to reach this Punjab. They are using this UP to Bihar, Bihar to Nepal, Nepal to like Punjab, like that. They are using this kind of transboundary movement. So we have to control that. And next one here is we have foreign funded networks. They are also having issues like arms trafficking, drug trafficking, etc. And finally, we have to go for preventive measures. So as of now in India, we have this NAT grid, that is National Intelligence Database. So we have to use that properly, and we have to record the data properly, and we have to try to use that effectively so that we can control this terrorism problem in our country. So that is the thing which mainly said. And what are the recommendations? We have to strengthen our police stations at different levels, that is at the state levels and as well as at central levels also we have to improve our policing system, so that what happened, we can go for proper countering of terrorism. Especially we have to go for early radicalization detection and as well as expanding of training services. And next one is we have to enhance our border security protocols with Nepal so that we can prevent infiltration. And next one is we have to continue interagency collaboration, like state level police with IB, RAW, every institution which is focusing on terrorism, they have to be coordinated properly so that we can come up with this addressing of this issue. So these are the things which mainly set. And in 2026, you may get a question regarding this anti-terror policy, because by the end of December, you are going to get that full details of this policy for sure. That means in 2026, you may get a question regarding that, because it is for the first time Indian government is coming up with this kind of policy. And recently terror attacks happened. So there is a very high chance of getting question regarding that. Okay, now let us see the next article. India pledges $450 million to aid Sri Lanka's recovery. What is this article talking about? India is providing certain help to Sri Lanka. Where is Sri Lanka located? South. So what is the line between India and Sri Lanka? Okay, here we have Bay of Bengal. Here we have Indian Ocean. It is connected by a water channel. It is called as Park Strait. And we have Gulf of Mannar here, right? Okay, now you guys tell me recently which cyclone affected this Sri Lanka? Cyclone which originated in this Bay of Bengal, Cyclone Ditwa. And apart from that, we have Senegal. Senegal only, right? Okay, what is that? Senar, not. No. It starts with S only. So check once the name. So two cyclones in this Indian Ocean and as well as Bay of Bengal, which hit this northern province of Sri Lanka the most. And to help this Sri Lanka in this cyclone Ditwa. Senior, okay. Cyclone Senior. Okay, so to help this Sri Lanka, India started one operation. What is the name of that operation? Operation Sagar Bandhu. So in this Operation Sagar Bandhu, what India did? India provided medicines and as well as food and as well as one bridge which had been collapsed in this northern part of the Sri Lanka also had been lifted by India. Okay, so here you may get questions regarding which province of Sri Lanka got affected in this cyclone Ditwa, because India is providing a huge amount of aid to Sri Lanka. So in this amount, the amount which is provided by India to Sri Lanka is $450 million. So in this, we are providing line of credit. Have you heard about this line of credit? Line of credit we are providing and as well as grants we are providing. So what is the difference between this line of credit and grant? Any idea, anyone? We are providing this amount as line of credit and as well as grants together. What is the difference between this grants and line of credit? So line of credit is nothing but we are going to provide money in the form of loan to Sri Lanka, and here on this loan we are going to charge very less interest rate, and this money has to be repaid by Sri Lanka. Later on, whenever it recovered, this amount should be repaid by Sri Lanka back to India. Grants is nothing but free of cost. Free of cost, India will be giving certain amount to this country as a soft power, and we cannot expect that back. Sri Lanka will not going to provide this grants back. Whatever the amount that we gave under this grant will not be provided by Sri Lanka back to India. But line of credit is nothing but a loan, that to very less interest rate, and that will be provided back by the Sri Lanka to India. So here this amount we are providing through line of credit and as well as grant, and I'll tell you how much amount we are providing under this line of credit and as well as grant. So here what kind of questions you can expect in your prelims is, first one is Sri Lanka related map. They may ask about this Park Strait or Gulf of Mannar or northern province, southern province, central province, like that. They will ask you the question. You have to know the map of Sri Lanka. And next one here is line of credit. They may ask a question on this line of credit. And next one here is they may ask about this cyclones. Cyclone is part of your geography, right? They may ask you the basic question regarding what are the conditions need to be satisfied to get these cyclones, in which conditions cyclones are formed, or else recently many cyclones are in news. They may give you this list of cyclones names, and they will ask you which of the above cyclones are formed in Arabian Sea, which of the above cyclones are formed in Bay of Bengal, like that. Or else they will give you directly cyclone Ditwa. Consider the following statements regarding cyclone Ditwa, and they will give you which countries or which states of India got affected because of this cyclone Ditwa. So in this way, 3 to 4 types of questions you can expect in your UPSC case, and you have to focus in these areas, and you have to make notes in that way. Okay. So now let us see the context. India has announced a $450 million reconstruction package to support Sri Lanka's recovery from the cyclone Ditwa. In this $450 million, $350 million in the form of line of credit. That means they have to pay back to our country. And around 100 million in grants. 100 millions in grants is they are not going to repay that back. Okay, only for the soft power. So we are providing $100 million, and as a loan with a very low interest, we are providing around $350 million. And we are focusing on improving of what? Infrastructure which had been affected, and as well as housing, health, education, agriculture, and disaster preparedness. So in these areas, they can use this amount of money, okay, for reconstruction and redevelopment process. Okay, now let us see the reasons why India is providing that. To assist Sri Lanka in recovering from devastating impacts of Cyclone Ditwa. Because of the Cyclone Ditwa, it caused severe damage to infrastructure, housing, and even essential sectors they had been affected. So because of this, they are going to give this. And which region got affected? Northern province. It is not southern province or central province or eastern province. The northern province of the Sri Lanka got affected because of the Cyclone Ditwa. And you have to remember that. On this, I gave you one prelims practice question. Okay. And next one here is as demonstration of India's commitment under neighborhood first policy. As you all know that India is having certain foreign policy. What is a foreign policy? How India has to make friendship or how India has to maintain the relationship with a certain country. So it is mainly dictated by our foreign policy. In our Indian foreign policy, we have neighborhood first policy. That means if something happens, if our neighbor countries are in danger or any disaster happen, India has to go and help. As a part of neighborhood first policy, and as well as Vision Mahasagar. We want to protect our countries which are sharing the boundary with Indian Ocean region. So as part of this mission Mahasagar, India is providing maritime cooperation as well as security and solidarity for these countries which are present in this region. And this one here is helping of other countries had been rooted in our historical and as well as civilizational ties between India and Sri Lanka. So we have to improve our bilateral relations between India and Sri Lanka. So because of that reason, we are helping now. And next one here is already you know that under this Operation Sagar Bandhu, we provided medical aid and as well as field hospitals. But in the long term also, India is providing certain amount of money for reconstruction support. And what is line of credit? Line of credit is not a grant, but a soft loan provided on a concession. That means very low interest rates to developing countries, which has to be repaid by the borrowing countries. But grants, they will be not repaid. There is no interest rate. It is just for free. Okay. Yeah. Let us see the next article. See the title. Misinformation and digital fraud must be tackled, says President. Actually, President gave this statement in one conference. Okay, let us see what are the statements given by our president in that conference. So if you are getting that kind of statements, who gave that statements like our government delegates, you may get direct question in your mains and as well as even in your essay sometimes. So here you have to know about what is misinformation, what is digital fraud. So recently we know that Supreme Court gave guidelines regarding digital arrest. What is this digital arrest? Can you recall this? Not exactly hacking accounts. Some officers, the fake persons in the name of officers, they will come and they'll ask you to repay whatever the amount that you had. Like for example, they will say that we are from GST office. and they will open all the details and they'll say that you have due this much. So you have to pay as soon as possible or else you will be getting arrested. So because of that, what happened, mostly elderly or vulnerable. And I said that in one case around from one elderly person, 1 crore rupees of this kind of fraud happened. And there is increasing of cases before Supreme Court regarding this digital arrest. And what Supreme Court said? Supreme Court increases the power of CBI to take this cases. Recently only, we discussed that. So here again, digital frauds are happening. So we have to control that kind of digital frauds and as well as misinformation. That is the thing which mainly said here in this article. Our president emphasizes that there is a need for a community of active social media users to promote fact-based narratives on the national interest, who are active on the social media. So they have to go for community awareness about this kind of misinformation as well as digital arrest. And recently our government of India also taken lots of steps to control content on social media, right? What kind of steps the government of India took? If there is any image or video which is made by using AI, there should be a clear-cut label that this image is created by this AI. You have to use 1/10th of space for that image for labeling that it is AI. And even if it is a video, you have to use at least so and so seconds of that video. You have to clearly say that this video is generated by AI. So that what happens, we can control this misinformation as well as disinformation, right? So those are the steps that are taken by the government. So here we have to know about what is misinformation or digital frauds, why these digital frauds are happening, what are the reasons behind it, and what are the steps taken by the government recently to control that, and what is the way forward. You have to think in all these dimensions because there is a very high chance of getting a mains question regarding this misinformation as well as digital frauds because of increasing of government control on AI content and as well as digital arrest. Supreme Court gave more power to CBI to handle this kind of cases. So because of these two reasons which are very strong, you may get a question regarding this misinformation and disinformation. Okay, you have to make a clear cut notes on that, guys. Don't forget this. If you see about the key aspects of the discussions, the first one here is social media has revolutionized information and as well as communication, but it also leads to the increasing of threat of misinformation and disinformation. So because of this, President called for the active users to counter this with fact-based narratives. If any information which is misinformation or disinformation which had been spread in the social media platforms, the people, whoever they are active, they have to counter this by giving original data. That is the first important point said by this president. And next one here is digital threats and frauds. There is growing issue of digital frauds which require multi-level vigilance. Digital platforms can facilitate citizen reporting. Citizens can report regarding this phishing, abuse, and they have to provide data for predictive policing. So if they're giving data, if they're complaining, then only our police forces, our cyber security teams can handle that cases. So we want to increase awareness for the people to report this kind of issues. And next one is citizens should not be passive. Alert individuals have aided in averting crisis and providing inputs to security forces. Our citizens should not be passive. They have to inform to security forces. In yesterday's news channels, there is one news which had been highlighted, which happened in our village. So actually, I used to have bank account in that bank only, SBI Bank in Prakasham Bazaar, in Nalgonda. So what was yesterday's issue was like there were certain cyber security scammers. They called certain couple and they asked them to transfer around 18 lakhs of rupees for the account. So actually, what happened was that wife and husband, the couple, they came to this bank with 18 lakhs of rupees and they want to transfer. But their condition is like they are feeling very stressed and anxiety they are seeing. Especially at that time, bank manager, who is a lady, she called them and she asked what happened. That guy explained everything, like what happened, why they are calling, when they started calling, what issue, everything. And that bank manager tried to persuaded that guy who came to transfer money of 18 lakhs, and slowly she called to cyber security, and as soon as possible, like around 5 to 10 minutes, they came and they solved the issue, it seems. So here this kind of issues are happening rampant in our country. So because of the citizens who are knowing that this kind of issues are going on. So try to make others aware about this kind of issues. And as you all know that we have very less digital literacy in India, and even illiterates are using this kind of smartphones now. Because of this, they are succumbing in this kind of loss of money from their accounts. So this, in this article, even Prime Minister said that citizens participation is very, very important, so that they can make this security forces aware about this kind of issues, so that we can save our money, and as well as we can save our privacy, security, everything. That's the thing which mainly said. And president also said that it is not only it is not like fun, it is not only the person who aware about this has to say, but each and every citizen in our country have certain fundamental duties under article 51A. So as part of this fundamental duty, we have to always focus on national security, and we have to go for propagation by the students, by teachers, by media, by resident welfare associations. So there is a need of awareness about the duties of the citizens. That is also one important point which mainly highlighted by our president. Okay, that is the thing, guys. And see the next article, maternal mortality dropped as institutional deliveries rose to 89%, says health minister. So what is article talking about? This article is talking about maternal mortality rate. In 2024, there was a simple question. TFR is seen in news, what it is. They gave you ABCD options. In the same way, now the maternal mortality rate had been decreased to 89%. It is a great achievement. So UPSC can ask a question like, recently MMR is seen in news, what is it? Simple kinds of questions you can get in your UPSC. Okay, so this article is important from your society and as well as health point of view. Let us see what is maternal mortality rate. Maternal mortality rate or ratio is a critical indicator of reproductive health of women in a country, and it is defined as maternal deaths, that means mother deaths per 1 lakh live births. Remember the number here, 1 lakh live births. How many women are dying? It is called as maternal mortality rate during their pregnancy or after their delivery within 42 days. How many mothers are dying? This comes under maternal mortality rate. Okay, so here WHO defines this maternal mortality rate as death of woman during pregnancy or within 42 days. Remember this, within 42 days of termination of pregnancy from any cause related or aggravated by pregnancy or its management. During the pregnancy or during delivery time or even after delivery within 42 days, if mother is dying, that is called as maternal mortality rate. So why this maternal mortality rate happens? Especially in India, what is the problem? Child marriages. Child marriages leads to the early age mothers. The child will become a mother at a very early age. So because of this, what happened? There is no proper development of physical health and as well as mental health. That is one important reason. And next one here is in rural areas, they will go for repeated deliveries without maintaining the proper time between one child to another child. That is the one important problem. And next one here is in our country, anemia is very high in this woman because of certain practice, certain society or social practices. That is also one important reason for this maternal mortality rate. And next one here is if you go to rural areas, many a times the delivery happens in the home only. They will not go to hospitals because whenever we are going for this kind of deliveries in the home, there is no proper maintenance and treatment. That may leads to infections and sometimes heavy bleeding leads to the death of the mother. So because of this, yes, institutional delivery is very, very important. To control this MMR in India, government came up with programs. Government promoted this institutional deliveries, and now health minister is saying that 89% of deliveries are happening in hospitals. So because of this, there is decreasing of MMR. Okay, and here you have to remember this point, guys. Sustainable development goals set by United Nations. The important aim of this, it is to reduce global MMR to less than 70 per 1 lakh births by 2030. So in India, what is this MMR rate in the recent? Yes, in India we have 93. But Sustainable Development Goal says that we have to decrease that to 70 deaths. And what is the target year? 2030. You have to remember this number also. On this number also, UPSC can give a question. Okay, next article, it is about a good template. So this article is talking about India's FTA with New Zealand. So in yesterday's class, we discussed about FTA which had been signed between India and New Zealand. In yesterday's class, we discussed about which areas in which we are focusing on this FTA and what are the advantages, everything. And even in yesterday's class, we practices a map-based question regarding this New Zealand also. So just revise that topic. There is nothing new in this. And next one here is BBG Ramji Act 2025. Number of times we discussed, around 4 to 5 times, and we practiced enough prelims practice questions also on this topic. So I'm not going to take this for today's discussion. So whatever the notes that I gave in the earlier class, just read it out. And next topic, it is about child trafficking needs concerted action from government and civil society. I think this article also we discussed. Recently, Supreme Court showed a grave concern that there is increasing of child trafficking in India. The same question, so sorry, the same thing which mainly said in that class. I also gave you like important acts which are related to this child trafficking in India, and we also practiced prelims based question on that day. So just revise that topic, guys. I think 2 to 3 days ago. So all these editorials are like on our earlier classes. Okay, let us see the practice questions. Look at these questions. First one, with reference to line of credit extended by India to other countries, consider the following statements. First statement here is LOCs are a form of soft loan provided on concessional terms with lower interest rates than commercial loans. What about this point? It is correct or wrong? Line of credit. It is a form of soft loan, lower interest rates. Second one is all Indian LOCs must be fully utilized as grants and cannot involve any repayment. Here, is it an extreme statement or normal state, general statement? It is extreme. Why? Because it is saying all Indian LOCs are fully utilized as grants. So I said there is a difference between grants and LOC. Or they are mixing this LOCs and grants together. Are you understanding? So what is the right option? What is the correct option? A, one only, okay? In this way, you have to read statements carefully and you have to try to understand like whether that is a general statement or like extreme statements. Extreme statements always 99.99% they will be wrong only. So general statements 99.9% they will be right only, okay? So think in that way. And see the second question, guys. Consider the following statements. Guru Gobind Singh had 4 sons. All of them were known as Sahibzadas and attained merit and martyrdom. And next one here is Veer Baal Diwas was first officially declared by Government of India in 2022. So why we celebrate this Veer Baal Diwas? Veer Baal Diwas will celebrate on this December 26 because of 2 younger sons of this Guru Gobind Singh who showed bravery. Here it is saying that so Guru Gobind Singh had 4 sons, all of whom. So only why we celebrate this Veer Baal Diwas only regarding these 2 younger sons. No, we didn't discuss about all sons included in this martyrdom. Are you understanding? So the first statement will be wrong. Second statement is 2022. Yes or no? Yes, it is right. So correct answer is B2 only. Next, see this next question. Consider the following statements regarding MMR, maternal mortality rate. First one is MMR is defined as the number of maternal deaths per 1 lakh live births during a given time period. Right or wrong? Yes or no? Come on, think yes or no? Okay, next see here. India has already achieved Sustainable Development Goal target of MMR below 70 by 2030. Did India achieved? In India, we have 93. It is saying 70 only. That means it is mismatch. This statement is wrong. What is the correct answer? A, 1 only. Are you understanding? So in this way, you have to remember the numbers also. Okay, see this next question. With reference to recent events, Cyclone Ditwa recovery, December 2025, which district in Sri Lanka received specific infrastructure aid like Baile Bridge from India? So even if you don't know, with a one trick you can identify this. West Province, Northern Province, Southern Province, Central Province. So this cyclone Ditwa affected Northern Province. So this kind of questions will be there for sure. But whatever the techniques you can use, observation part, you can see. Even in today's article said that in Northern Province we are going to provide this aid for infrastructure. So if you identify this only one, then your answer is in your hands. I understand it. By seeing this, don't confuse at all. Okay, you will be getting anxiety for sure in the examination hall, but you have to use your presence of mind, observation skills, everything in examination hall. So this will be the key things used by UPSC. Okay, UPSC will not ask you to remember each and every part in the map, but at least the major idea that you have to know. If you know this northern province, you can do that question. So like that, okay? Don't become that much stress and anxiety in this examination hall. So whatever the knowledge you have, try to use that as far as possible so that you can obviously clear this examination. Okay? That's all, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and please do like this class and share this class to your friends. And one more thing here is, if you want to get the PDF of this class, you can join our Telegram channel. Link is given in description box. And even you can follow us on Instagram page, where we are providing mains question with model answer, prelims question with answer, and also current affairs in short space. Don't miss that. And if you want to talk to me directly in the Zoom session, every Saturday we are going to conduct this Zoom session at 7 p.m. For that, registration is must. Please do register. Registration form link is given in description box. Thank you, guys.